Hello, loyal fans and subscribers. Ninamori Fanboy here with the week, I believe, 9 battle in the PBF against Henry, aka coach of the Sheffield Scizors. You're probably aware that I did not make a team building video this week. There's multiple reasons for that, I guess. The biggest reason, I guess, is just procrastination and laziness. I've had the battles before I made my team building videos in the past, but since I just had this battle, like it just ended, and I really want to try to narrate it while I, have it, still fresh in my mind. So I just, and I know if I try to make a team building video, like a proper one, I'm going to spoil something, because this battle is pretty great. So I'll just list the team I made really quick right now. Looking at the team preview, I got Granbull with leftovers, pretty standard Granbull, Play Rough, Earthquake, Toxic, and Heal Bell. Talonflame. This Talonflame actually has max attack and HP, Acrobatics, Roost, Swords Dance, Flare Blitz, holding a Charty Berry, which is supposed to half the damage from rock attacks. Starmie, Standard Starmie, not Life Orb, Expert Belt, Scald, Psyshock, Rapid Spin, and Thunderbolt for Empoleon. Noivern is Life Orb with enough speed to outspeed Latios, I believe, which I think is 156 points of investment. With Draco Meteor, Flamethrower, Air Slash, and Roost. Swampert, pretty standard Swampert, defensive. Stealth Rock, Toxic, not Scald, Ice Beam, and Earthquake. And then Mamoswine, this is a pretty unique, not really unique Mamoswine. I haven't used it in a long time. This is my, it's Naive, holding a Never Melt Ice with Ice Shard, Earthquake, Knockoff, and Freeze Dry, specifically for the Gastrodon. So I believe I mentioned everything, anything specifically. I have like Ice Beam on Swamperts for Tangrowth, Starmie, Thunderbolt I mentioned for Empoleon, Talonflame, Charty Berry for Rock Slide from Darmanitan and or Empoleon and or Tangrowth and or Gastrodon. So there's that. That's the team builder. So let's get into the battle. It's, like I mentioned, it's very good. So good, in fact, that I'm definitely incapable of not spoiling the outcome of the battle if I try to do so, which is part of the reason why there's no team building video this week. Forgive me for that if you enjoy that, but I'm hoping it'll just be this week. So I lead with Granbull as he leads with Empoleon. I was going to lead with Swampert, but I didn't because I figured he would lead Tangrowth, expecting my Swampert, but he led with this, so I just went for Earthquake as he goes for Scald, gets a burn in. The reason I find out he led with this is because he was holding a Shuka Berry, so my Earthquake wouldn't have done much damage, and he could have potentially got a burn on my Swampert. But he got the burn on my Granbull. Doesn't really matter too much, since he had the Shuka Berry anyway, so I basically did 0 damages. Now he's going to go for a Flash Cannon. I was expecting rocks both times, actually, but he never went for it. He does get a Spadef drop. Doesn't really matter. I'm just going to fire off a Thunderbolt as he actually goes right out into Gastrodon, maybe predicting a Scald. I don't know, maybe he predicted Thunderbolt. Either way, it worked out for him. Now I'm just going to go for Psyshock because I'm pretty sure it can't do anything to me. As he goes for Scald. Does quite a bit of damage. Doesn't get a burn though, so that's good. Even if he did get a burn, I do have Natural Cure. Speaking of Natural Cure, I would have switched out right there regardless. I just did. Here I actually expected the recover, expecting me to hit him with another Psyshock. But he actually goes for Scald again, so my Granbull goes down. I was going to switch in my Granbull and go for Toxic, but I end up just switching it in as Death Fodder, basically. No, actually, I do survive this burn. Yeah, that's right. Now here, I was going to go for Toxic, but I figured the switch back to Empoleon was too obvious, so I went for Earthquake as he ended up staying in. And I just got off a little bit of damage with that Earthquake. Looked like it did more to Gastrodon than it did to Empoleon, to be honest. So again, he did have a Shuka Berry. Now I can go out into my Mamoswine. I have not used this Mamoswine in a long time. It's so nice to finally destroy something with Freeze Dry again. Very satisfying. Now he can go out to Darmanitan, and I figured he'd go for U-turn, but I kind of wanted to bluff that I was sashed. So I just went out to Swampert, and he did go for U-turn. I figured even if he did go for Flare Blitz, I don't think it would have O-Code. I didn't calc. I probably should have calced. But I didn't expect him to go for Flare Blitz. This was probably the best, the least riskiest thing that could have happened. Now, however, I just opt to stay in since I don't really need Swampert for anything, since I figured my Talonflame countered his Darmanitan and the rest of his Pokemon were physical, so I didn't think my Swampert would be necessary. So I just went for Toxic on this thing, outspeeding it. So now I'm going to go... I went for Toxic, like I just said. Now I'm going to go for Stealth Rock. Get those up. I wasn't stressing Stealth Rock in this battle at all because he had that Latios and nothing really weak to it except Darmanitan. And I had a plan for Darmanitan, the whole time. Now I'm just going to go for Ice Beam. Doing a respectable amount of damage as he finishes off my Swampert with a Giga Drain finally. What he used first time? Rock Slide, predicting Talonflame presumably, then Knock Off. I don't know what he was expecting. Then he finally went for Giga Drain. But he's at about the damage where he was before the Giga Drain. Maybe a little higher. Anyway, now I just go out to my Noivern, take him out with an Air Slash. So there's another threat gone. I mean, Talonflame could have put in work against it, but doesn't matter. I was kind of scared of Sleep Powder. Now here, I'm expecting the Rock Slide, so I go out to my Starmie, just sacking it. And he does use Rock Slide. So my Starmie goes down, but it's fine. I can go out to my Mamoswine, still bluffing the Sash. And I know he's going to preserve this because it's a win condition. So predicting the Latios, I'm actually going to go for Knock Off as it switches into the Rocks. And Mamoswine does so much damage with that Jolly Knock Off. Enough to where I can just easily take it out with another Ice Shard. Now here I was expecting the Darmanitan to come right back out and go for like Superpower or hopefully Flare Blitz or something, but he goes right out to Gardevoir, and that scared me. This is where I started kind of, getting worried because, okay, here I went for Ice Shard because I wanted to get off damage. It's a speed tie right away, and I didn't want my Mamoswine to just die without doing any kind of damage, so I went for Ice Shard, as it does very little damage, and he gets up a Substitute. It's at this point I'm pretty sure I'll outspeed, so I just go for Earthquake, which breaks the sub, of course, and I was hoping I would live its next attack, but as it goes for Hyper Voice, I just end up dying. I considered going out to my Noivern, but I knew he would probably just go for Hyper Voice, and he did. So I end up going out to my Talonflame, taking it out with a Flare Blitz, And it is at this point that I'm looking at damage calcs, and I realize that even with the Charty Berry that halves rock damage, Darmanitan still does like 90% to Talonflame with Rock Slide. And now I'm just starting to lose all kinds of momentum at once. He goes out to Empoleon. I'm just going to go for Flamethrower, doing as much damage to this thing as I can with my Noivern. Unfortunately, I didn't have Focus Blast to take it out, so if I did, I probably would have missed anyway, so a little damage is better than none, I guess. So now my only Pokemon left is my Talonflame, and I go for Swords Dance, expecting to live his water attack. And the Scald does so much more damage than I was expecting it to. So I'm not going to be able to live the recoil from this Flare Blitz. Which means, since he still has Darmanitan, that my opponent, the Scizors, have won the battle. So, to sum up everything, my plan going into this battle was to set up with Talonflame against something, any of his Pokemon that could use a Rock Attack that would probably know Rock Attacks, knowing how big of a threat my Talonflame is to his team. That's why I gave him the Rock Berry. But apparently when I was doing calcs and making this team earlier in the week, I didn't check Darmanitan's Rock Slide. I must have done some others, but apparently I didn't check Darmanitan, who was the main one I wanted to check. Because Darmanitan still did like 80% or 90% with Rock Slide. So once I found that out, I was kind of in panic mode, which is why I was making the decisions I was making. But all in all, it didn't much matter anyway because, like I said, the Scald did so much more damage than I was expecting. I couldn't even roost and, come back from that. So, I mean, maybe 2 Flare Blitzes would have been better than 1 Flare Blitz. But like I said, I didn't... Okay, yeah, the reason I Swords Danced was because since I never got to activate my Rock Berry, I still had an item, so I couldn't do as much damage to the Darmanitan at once. Like, that was the whole plan with Talonflame from the start. Just, I figured any number of his Pokemon would have a Rock Attack. That was... I mean, his Tangrowth did, and his Darmanitan did. He never revealed it on Empoleon or Gastrodon, and they were special attackers, so they probably didn't have it, but maybe. I mean, Empoleon probably didn't, because it didn't go for the Rock Attack, it went for Scald. But my point is, that's why I went for SD there. I'm not sure if I just went for 2 Flare Blitzes, that would have been better. Probably not, but like I said, that was my only hope to take out the Darmanitan. And it was basically flawed logic from the beginning. I don't know how I didn't notice that Darmanitan still did that much damage with the Charty Berry, but it did, and I don't know, it just really went all downhill from there. I was playing under the assumption that I would be able to set up my Talonflame at some point, and I considered doing that when his Tangrowth KO'd my Swampert, but I didn't do that because he still had... Who do he still have? Empoleon pretty healthy. I think that's it. And like I mentioned, I was fearing the potential Sleep Powder. But either way, this whole battle kinda fell flat. Like I don't know what to say. I went in with the wrong plan, I guess, and my opponent capitalized on it and ended up defeating me. So definitely a good battle, like, altogether, but pretty disappointing coming from the perspective that I kind of planned for everything and everything just kind of didn't work. and in the end. So I guess, yeah, like I said, good battle. Congratulations to the Scizors. I guess that was his revenge for the NN battle I had against him. So anyway, yeah, thank you for watching this video. Sorry there wasn't a team builder, but like I said, there was no way I could possibly make that in the normal way when this craziness happened. So yeah, thank you for watching this video. Hopefully we'll be back to normal routine next week. Look forward to that. I believe it's the last week in the standard non-playoff week, and I'm against Andy, coach of the Wiltshire Weavils. I believe that's it. Could be wrong. I really don't know, but either way, thank you for watching. I think I said that like 3 times. Have a